Hey guys, J77 doing a video game music review. Never thought I did this one again, but I figured, what the hell, talk about a few more video games that have impacted me, as well as the game's music, either soundtrack or melody, that is still memorable even to this day. And what better way than to kick it off than talk about The Legend of Zelda, the very first game. And I'm not going to be talking about the other ones just yet, especially the one that I have played in my time when I started really getting into video games, and that is Zelda 64, which I hold as one of the classics. I'm talking about the NES version, and the reason why I'm talking about the NES version more so than any other version of Zelda in its history, because the NES version's melody, the Zelda melody, is still the most frequently played melody next to Super Mario Brothers. Zelda has a very memorable melody, even if you didn't even play the original game. That's how strong an impact that melody has. The latest version, which I absolutely enjoy watching, is on YouTube, and I will leave a link to her channel because she is very, very talented. I love her artwork. I love her craft, and I just love hearing her play her music. Is one where Lindsey Sterling have done. She done a tremendous job with that cover. She's very full of energy, and you can tell that she loves what she does. And I recommend you guys to check her work out. She's very, very good. But it also, there were other people who have done this melody constantly, and it's kind of funny because I don't remember the game. I don't remember much of the game or the premises. I remember playing it a few times. Did like the game, but it was complicated at my age when I first saw it. I saw a lot of people play it. They loved the game, but I always remember the melody. It's the same way with Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers, is that I played that game late when it was finally on the NES home entertainment system. I rarely played in the arcade because the arcade was packed. I mean, it was very, very packed. Zelda never had an arcade release. It was strictly in a gold cartridge, and to this day, it's one of the most expensive cartridges to get. That's how powerful that game was. If you're going to get the cartridge right now, I believe you're going to spend the max of $28 in certain stores. That's how valuable that game is. A lot of games you would think they'll be sold at for $1 or 98 cents because it came out in the 80s and nobody has an entertainment system anymore. You'd be surprised. There are retro entertainment systems out there. There are refurbished versions of Nintendo, and there's still a demand for a lot of these cartridges. And because of demand, the price is going to be pretty much high, especially if a cartridge is discontinued. I don't think the Zelda game is discontinued. I think there is a order. I believe if you order it pretty much online and get it made to order, I think you can get it. But I do know you're going to fork up a lot of money. But it is one of those games that people to this day still say it's worth playing. If you're a retro gamer, it's worth playing. And I agree, it's one of those classic games that you cannot really match with no one else. Even with their own franchise, that game pretty much stands alone. The same way with Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers pretty much stands alone for the simple fact is it was one of those games that was ahead of its time and actually set the bar for other games as well. But the melody for Zelda is also pretty much within the class within itself because it is a melody that people still enjoy. You may not, like I said, you may not have played the game. You probably never even heard what Zelda is, but you probably heard of the melody. You probably heard of Zelda's melody. Dan, dan, da 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 dan, da 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 dan, da 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 dan, da da. Who hasn't? That's how much of an impact Zelda did. And for a medium, that's a strong impact. That's a powerful impact. That I think that give kudos to whoever came up with that melody. And keep in mind, video game melodies back in the days, in the 60s and 70s, even early 80s, it wasn't concentrated on. People didn't really care about the music because the music was not the main focus. Times have changed. The score actually comes along with the mood of the game, especially now with games such as Resident Evil, Metal Gear Solid, and future games that are coming up. Gears of War, you name it. These games have with strong play comes a strong theme, a theme that is memorable and something you actually want to sing to, and that's how strong the theme is. And Zelda, to me, you got to give it credit. I mean, 1980s, late 80s, early 90s, the Zelda Melody is still the most recognizable and probably the most constantly replayed melody of the genre. So that's all basically I got to say about that. It is a crowning achievement for that melody. Now, as for the other games, kind of funny. There's only one other song I believe that actually has a bit of a staying power with me. And even with that being said, it doesn't have nearly as much of an impact as the other one, and that is the Nintendo 64 version. And the melody pretty much goes like and that melody was actually replayed by an orchestra, which did a great job of doing that cover. But even with that being said, I know that's Zelda, but more people are going to recognize the original melody than that one. So, in fact, I don't have too much fond memories of any other Zelda games that actually have a stronger melody than the original, the very first one. This is a classic A melody. There's no other way to put it. Classic A. And to me, it's definitely one of the 100 best video game tunes that was ever made. You guys, of course, as always, you may disagree. You guys think this is a dumb melody. And that's fine. If you guys don't like the melody, that's great too. Just give me your feeling on the Zelda melody, as well as one that probably is equal or better than in all the Zelda games. I'm not talking about outside of Zelda, but in the Zelda franchise. Give me your opinion. Let me know. I'd like to hear from you guys. But until then, this is J77 saying take care, be safe. I'll talk to you soon.